This is an Ostravini. An Ostravini that may not see the light of day because of these mechanical machines confound me. I'm a man of a great intellect who is content with contact with the universe, yet no power over the universe itself, except when I quetch enough. And now I do quetch at times. Start con I have a book here. I'm going to take off these glasses because I made the print large enough that I can actually see it. My eyes fail me, as many other things have failed me, but not the Lord. He's just testing me. No, too much, I believe. If the Lord is a man, if it's a woman, it's they love drama. Anyway, take of take contrast between say Mr. Jimmy Carter and our glorious leader Donnie Trump. Donnie Trump. I love you so much, Donnie Trump. Jimmy was a loser. Oh, yes, a kind man, a good man, a man who built housing after he had retired and dedicated his life to peace. But peace did not come to Jimmy, or good luck. He is considered one of the unluckiest, most contemptibly inept presidents in history. Oh, yeah. Well, history will be kind. Inglorious, the great Trump. Ah, people say he's the life of the party. He's indefinable. You don't know what he's going to do next. He's always 3 steps ahead. But he is guided by divine right. The Lord has picked him. Huh? Yes, picked Jesus Christ. The personification of Jesus is within Trump. Yes. You think me mad? I am. But that's not the point. The point is, I look good today. I feel good. I'm going to put this out. Jimmy Carter was an unlucky man. He went to the desert and tried to rescue our soldiers from the contemptible usurpers of badness. Oh, yes, that's rather. They are bad, those mullahs. Mullah. Uh, their contemptible distortion of the Islamic language and the Islamic code is rather horrifying. If Islam is not voluntarily given to you and you voluntarily accept it, it's coercion. It's not true belief. It is leaned by fear. Now, we cannot allow a nation based on fear and based on a distorted relationship to Allah, whatever you think divine religion is, to have atomic weapons, to have weapons of mass destruction. There's only one man who can stop them. There's only one man in the world. His name is Donald Trump, yes, and he's got them in a twirl. Donnie has won this war now. It's right for the right taking. Let me tell you something. What's this? DOJ dumped on them daily plan. DOJ. Who the hell is the DOJ? Can I remember this? Ah, this is what happened. Joseph Biden was to be sold to the highest bidder, selling out America for money, for fame, and for contempt. He was in the throes of the certain clique that controls his White House, while the place was Joe's brain was about as uh, cohesive as a bar of soap. And he was never a great mind, my friends. No, 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 no. Joe Biden. Joe Biden always had a mediocre mind at best, dedicated to his own self-aggrandizement. His evil, it was evil, this contemptible ice cream eating, piece of vegetable. But he was matched. His whole system was matched against a great man, the trumper. Most God has picked that obnoxious man to be his right-hand man, to define what the world will be. He'll bring peace to the Middle East. Yes, I say that. Or if he fails, the Middle East will be an atomic playground. That's what this war is about. It's supposed to attack a psychotic, suicidal cult that ruins our whole nation and is controlling atomic, theoretically, bombs that could blow up the world. Do you think Israel will eternally have a threat to itself? It's a small little postage stamp of a country. A few atomic bombs and boom, boom, boom. No more Jews in the Middle East. But the Jews of Israel have quite the arsenal themselves, and they'll go boom, boom, boom. The Iranians, which will cause a thermonuclear war and radioactive clouds in the sky and destroy much of the infrastructure that supplies the oil that everybody needs. And who will be blamed for that? Catastrophically? The Jews. The scapegoats. Only defending themselves from land that was given to them by the divine Lord and High God Himself, and reinforced by their own ethnicity attached to the Holy Land. It is a strange mixture of belief and reality. Bimbo takes, oh my God, where am I? Christy Norm. What a piece of work her husband and her lover were. I thought, coming to Earth, that all perverts were Democrats. Sure, yes, they have cornered the market on it, but may perhaps the veneer that Christie did, but she was entertaining creature. Sure, she killed the puppy because the puppy wouldn't learn. You don't kill the puppy. You never kill the puppy because the puppy doesn't learn. You give the puppy to somebody else who will love the puppy. You don't hate the puppy. What kind of maniac are you, Chrissy? You knew when you did that puppy killing and put it in a book, prophesizing your own destruction. Bess, you did things that were entertaining. Oh, entertaining as hell. When you captured those misanthropes, those contemptible tattooed monsters who had invaded our land and put them in cages in El Salvador, with them as the backdrop. Well, Fantasyland, dominatrix woman, putting the evils in their place. Yes. But Chrissy, you didn't know to. You outfitted your plane specifically for larger entourages that happen to have a bed where your lala outside of marriage, and you would do the hoopy doop. Yes, the hoopy doop on government time. And that, not only that, your man, your side dish, said he was untouchable. Untouchable by fate. Then we all lamented your cuckold husband, a suffering man. But then we found out that he was into large boobs, wearing boobs. And not even making himself a feminine face, just usually boobs. He was loving people on the internet with big boobs. It once was that these fetishes would stay behind closed doors. We didn't have the resources. Now the resources are there. Do I have a fetish? I don't consider them fetishes. I consider them my things. My God, what's going on with the universe? Ah, A serial killer of an old man. He's fascinating to the murder of a multitude of prostitutes. They showed the prostitutes photos. They were much becoming. Killed them murderously, had them in a torture chamber, and then disposed the bodies around the land. He was a man, not a handsome man, but not a horrifyingly mean man. Average, none you would never suspect that he was a murderer. Certainly his own family didn't suspect. They lived in the house in which he conducted the murders in his cellar or complex. Now, in order to avoid the death penalty, avoid these things, and give closure, he is confessing to the 8 murders or 7 murders that he did. Our criminal justice system is far too lenient, in my opinion. I'm looking at myself. I love me so much. I look good. I'm nearly 70, you know. I look like a young man. It's no I just think the camera loves me as I love the camera. I love me a camera. Oh, let me tell you something. Then there's Hot Hug Coach. This is all in the post, you know. Posted he hugs off reporter. You know why we have sexual harassment laws? Oh, men went too far, but women have gone too far too. A bunch of lesbians, a bunch of man-hating lesbians made laws in which heterosexual sex is practically illegal. Illegal, I say. Lesbians should not make rules for heterosexuals. No, 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 no. Feminists shouldn't do either. They hate men. Oh, yeah. They hate our very nature. Bukkake doo-doo on you, ladies. Soon your sexual harassment laws will be a thing of past. Oh, yeah. Yes, we know your true natures are to undermine heterosexuality. And so far you've been quite uniquely successful. You have a lot of man haters out there who hate the men. Hate the men! You should feel ashamed of yourself. It's not your fault, their fault that you picked the wrong betrothals. You picked the dangerous men. You know what about dangerous men? They're dangerous. Why do they kill the men? Are dangerous men. He's dangerous. Ooh, you contemptible creatures. Ah, man hugs his lady. Man of my years, and you make it a crime. And you define what should be and shouldn't be. Ah, Gavin Newsom's wife. Contemptible creature. She went to connect with women who murder children because she killed her sibling in the youth. And she could feel the guilt that they may feel, and she wants to heal the guilt. They should feel guilty. The greatest crime in the universe is to kill one's own children. And that crime will not be go unpunished by the Lord. He is upon us. I can feel it. Yes, the Lord of the Egyptians followed the Ark of our journey, and they wouldn't let Moses' people go. Apocalypse has got now. Yes, there's a good chance there will be no apocalypse. There's a man named Trump who's 3 steps ahead of the game. Did Mr. Obama think you could bribe a bunch of political and religious fanatics out of being political and religious fanatics? His very existence is to destroy Jews and destroy Christianity. Christendom is in danger. We are letting invaders into Europe. The only people who are standing in their way are the Poles, the Hungarians. The French are cooperating with them. The English are bowing to them. But the English people will not bow any longer. There will be a rebellion, a worldwide civil war. against the forces of one world government. Oh, yes, apocalypse not now, my friends. Forever. From Plast, low IQ Carson. Mr. Carson believes that we should be neutral, that we should let Europe fall to the Muslims or the Russians, that we should, what? We should let Israel be destroyed. Let, we can't do that. We haven't had the option of closing ourselves off to the shenanigans outside our nation since the Great World War II. Creation of bombs that could destroy cities and staging areas for military. Exact. There's only one reason they're not used. They're rather impractical. Oh, yes. Oh, ISIS fiends and bomb wars. Mullahs, the Muslim fanatics, are rather clever. They penetrated the most sacred of cities, the city of capitalism, city of the Jews to an extent, the city of Yuma. And they have taken over. They want to have us not have dog ears because they consider them unclean. They want Sharia law here. They want any speaking against Islam to be forbidden. But their Islam is not Islam. It's not voluntary, my friend. It is violent and it is without tolerance. The Muslim empires did not grow out of intolerance of this nature. This is a primitive rendition, a distorted mind set. God will defeat them. He is setting up the circumstances for their destruction. They are near destructive. Only the liberals can keep them alive. Only the very forces that would be tortured by them. An alliance between the gays and Islam is ridiculous. It's like Hitler's friends of the Jews. Ooh, hoo, hoo. Jews for Hitler. Yay! Does that make sense? Women and men being the same thing based on garb, based on intention, based on belief. Woman is a woman and a man is a man with all their flaws and all their attributes. Oh, it is back in vogue. Oh, a woman who runs Vogue believes that Biden's wife is beautiful and that Obama's wife was quite the fetching thing in her sense of style, which more was just nasty, was better than one of the most beautiful women in Agent Daska, Trump's wife, is the most beautiful woman who ever stepped into the White House, and the most fashionable, and the most noble, and the most intelligent. She knows 5 different languages. True, she does have a Ivory accent. She didn't want to get rid of her accent and Americanize it. She loved her past and loves her presence and loves her son. This is the forces of good battling. Michelle, we don't know what she believes in. I believe she believes in Michelle and not America. She has an infantile concept of being offended. A woman of privilege all her life who has never suffered. Yeah. Michelle, you will be a thing of the past. A scrawny woman, yes, indeed. Some doubt her sexuality. I don't doubt that. She's a very strong woman. Probably could out-wrestle Mr. Obama. Although that bar is fairly low. They Oh, yes, my friend is awakened out of her stupor. Easter eggs on Dime Dim's face. He tried to make fun of Donald during the Easter parade. Then they showed old Joe Biden being run around by a bunny rabbit, who was actually part of the White House team to keep the old man stable before they failed. Careful. Ah, see, on the wings of 60 Minutes was a cesspool of hate. How could you expect these liberal scum to bring anything of value to the discourse of the nation? They hated the Republicans because the Republicans are with God. And they are not with God. They are with a nasty bit of business. Yes. Don't come in here unless you want to be in this picture. It's my loyal lady who's remained invisible to you all. Hi. Yes, glorious woman. I wish I could put her on the stage, but she's shy. Shy, shy, shy. What's this? Thrown to the wolves. No sign of the time. A couple were looking at themselves, vain, narcissistic creatures they are, and not paying attention to the baby. Well, the baby was near the wolf cage. The wolf cage? Well, interesting enough, this place where you're supposed to see the animals have cages that children can have access to. Well, the child put its hand through the wolf to the wolf, and the wolf did what naturally comes to wolf. Ah, it's dinner time. But luckily, because of God, the wolf didn't jump down. Looking for the wolf, they didn't shoot the wolf like they shot an ape all around. They shot an ape. They threw an ape into a cage, and they shot the ape. And the ape was not doing anything. He was just being an ape, saying, "Look at the little baby." You know how they do. Anyway, were arrested for neglecting their child. And I imagine they had better, fencing around the walls. I hope. Oh. Punch. Ah, red school, yes, but our children to be left-wing activists. In other words, imbeciles. Used to be, what did Winston Churchill say? A man who was a liberal at youth and then became a conservative in his prime grew. Now people are liberals and liberals to the end, idiots. Liberals have to accept the flaws of man and woman. Not seeing it's injustice, seeing it's something that you could work around to make your own individual life as satisfying as it can be under the circumstances. Rudy, I love my Rudy. They tried to say that they tried to put him in jail. Tried to say he was wrong about the Biden's election being false and the election fraud that went on. But now the tables have turned and he will get to see his antagonists be antagonized. Ah, it's first bluster. Bluster because Trump uses language is no noise. Well, he does because he is with God. Who is Trump? Who is this man? I think of him as Nixon, Dice Clay, and every funny Ronald Reagan, and what's his name? The Jew who insults people. What is his name? Well, the many who do. Ah, eludes him. What? What? I can't remember. Think of it as humorous. Hockey pucks, he used to call people. Uh, Hockey pucks. Remember his name? The son of intelligence and sharpness is gone. Hockey pucks. Anyway, I'm going to go away now and put this online. Hopefully, I'll be able to do it and not be stymied. Yes. Ah, yes. Let's see. Mine eyes have seen the glory, the glory that is Trump. He's going to make all the liberals get the mumps.